So what exactly is this game that I'm showing you? Well, if you don't know what it is, it's a quirky little title called Mibibli's Quest by Ryan Melmoth. Mibibli's Quest picked up a few heads to those who discovered it, which is only sparse because it was released only on itch.io, the game sharing site. However, it will be coming to Steam soon with extra content, which was quite a surprise from Ryan. I highly encourage you check it out once it releases. Actually, I encourage you play this game now if you're interested by downloading on itch, unless he deletes it from there once it's on Steam. But my point is you should check out this game somehow before watching this video, because this is pretty obvious perspective. Now, what I'm going to discuss in this video about Mibibli's Quest is the introduction of the game, and how Ryan goes about building anticipation, but in an interesting way. And we're going to start here with the very beginning of the game. So the game just kind of throws you into it, just into the starting zone apparently called the Art World, which we learned from our friend over here. The statement isn't wrong either, as you see the designs of the level are all based around art, with the level being composed of random statue sprites to make up the landscape, as well as paintbrush obstacles, and also enemies like stick figures that drop from a giant pencil, and frogs that freeze you into a picture frame. Despite already theming levels to a specific topic, in this case art, the level still retains that first level introductory feel, teaching you jumping and shooting and fighting enemies. You also see the darker side of this game right off the bat when you notice spikes covered in blood, some of them dripping. Anyways, this level nicely establishes Mibibli's Quest style and what you can expect within the levels, platforming and fighting enemies, while picking up health drops with checkpoints every once in a while. Usually with an NPC in the room to tell you something important. After the second checkpoint, you find the boss, who is Mibibli, Mibibli's archenemy, which is explained just before the battle begins, and that's all you're really given, and all you really need to know. Mibibli has an antagonist that he must defeat. Not much more story is necessary. Anyways, you try to attack him, but you just see him deflecting your bullets across the stage until you've cut the entire stage in half, revealing the battlefield. You can now fight Mibibli, dealing damage to him while he fights back with his own attacks. Some of his attacks are a bit more interesting than others. You think you're actually doing something as you fight him, seeing his health bar deplete, but this isn't true when you find him rise up, grab his own health bar, and replenish it. Now you're in the scenario where you're not sure if it's a scripted battle or if you actually have to do something. You're given health drops as well, so maybe you're just supposed to keep trying? The battle wages on for a good 3 or 4 minutes, and as he continues to replenish his health every time, you're still confused on how to actually succeed. But eventually it's revealed that the battle was scripted all along, and that it concludes with them simply getting bored and parting ways. You're then sent to a blank room, which has no indication of entrance or exit. Yet you do the one thing you can really do, which is move left and right, to find that there actually is an exit to the room. You then find yourself walking through different areas, but they're in the same room. See, they're set up kind of like comic book panels, and the overall progression of walking through this room, it looks really spiffy. You then end up in this area with eerie music playing, a place called Sad Town, which is exactly what it sounds like, as you find many different NPCs all making depressive comments and statements about their lives. You're not really sure if this town has any significance in the game, or if any of the NPCs are supposed to tell you anything important. I mean, like I said, they're all just depressive comments. Nothing the NPCs have to say seem important. So you just progress until you find something that actually seems important, which happens to be a book with a cross on it. Eager to actually find something that could be important, you run towards it to only find that it was a tease as you're suddenly warped to a new location. You, our hero, is flying across the screen while more eerie music plays, a little bit more creepy though. At this point you're probably unsure of what's actually going to happen, as all of this walking seemed kind of pointless. Yet, you walk forward since that's all you really can do. You find a couple of obstacles like rocket spikes and spiders that can fall on you, but this portion is still basically just more walking. Suddenly though, the level starts to skip you ahead. It's so subtle that you might not even notice it's happening while you're playing. But if you do notice, it probably surprises you as you remain apprehensive of more random warping. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happens yet again. I'm sure you're sick of all this random warping and what appears to be no progression in the actual game. However, still left with no other options, you have to keep walking forward, breaking some blocks to progress, and then finding a dead end. Since it's your last option, you have to fall down into the pit, which then shakes and starts to lower, to one of the most important rooms in the game. As the platform continues to drop, you start to hear music picking up. You now find yourself at the title introduction. You finally reach the main game, after all that chaos and confusion. You're given this epic as hell title in big gold letters across the screen, with the area silhouetted, and the most significant part being that you are still in control of Mibibli. You can run around and shoot. but you're stuck because that platform takes forever to lower. The purpose of this is to further build your hype and excitement for the game. After a lack of any development, with the sad town and random warping, we've been waiting for something to happen for quite a while. And to add to that, just before you finally reach progress in the game, Ryan prevents you from being able to rush to those next levels right away. He builds your anticipation to the highest level so that when you finally can get off the platform, you jump into the game ready as ever for what's to come. Without Sad Town and the empty areas that you have to walk through, and without the epic intro title scene, would you really be that excited to play the next level? If you were just warped straight to the level select area after defeating Mibibli, you probably wouldn't. Ryan has managed to build player hype to the max without really implementing any development before the next level. You walk through a whole lot of nothing for quite a long time, but without that nothing, the player wouldn't be as hyped because they're just warped to the level select area. And that's just boring compared to the build-up Ryan's given us. I mean, look at Mibibli, he just wants to run and jump and shoot, but you're stuck there, having to hold back your excitement. All of that nothing is actually a very important part of Mibibli's quest. But hey, that's just my perspective.